the world. We're gonna take on the world.
All right, guys, we're back at it once again. Third Eye Truth Theorem podcast coming at you. It is what? It's May 5th, 2025, downtown St. Joseph, Michigan, 8 p.m. I know you hate when I do
you
that.
keep on adding shit to it too.
No, it's the same shit I say all the time.
Like people don't know where the hell we're at.
No, man.
at
Some
what
people
time.
don't.
Cinco, man. It's Cinco.
Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. All right.
There we go.
That's the way it started. That's the way it started off. Get that shit going right.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do it. Look. Joe didn't tell me who was coming in at all today. But before we start,
I did tell you we were having a jalapeno food truck.
Yeah. But I didn't go into detail with it or do my research. So I was like, all right, Joe normally has the names and everything ready for me. But before I do that, I'm going to introduce us. My name is James Gill, the host. This is my co-host, Joe Hill.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Corona Day.
Yes. Oh, Joe bought me a Modelo and got himself a Corona.
No wine today.
No wine today? All right.
No.
I'm going to start it off.
It's Corona Day.
But, like I said, I didn't know who was coming in. And it's a guy I've known for over 20 years, man. Dave Tobias, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I didn't know. So I'm in shock. I know you're in shock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you were doing this.
Yeah.
But like I said, as soon as he said your name and I heard the laugh.
Yeah.
Like Jiggler's in the house.
And only a few people know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anymore.
It's too
late now.
It's only a few
I put you on
people.
blast. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Dude. That's only people that know that name. People I've known for a long time. And Joe didn't know that for a while, but
I probably did.
yeah, but now he really knows. so that's
I've heard that before. Who else called you that?
Oh man, the old twins.
Yeah.
The Gray twins.
Oh, yeah. Mark and Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't Billy call you that too?
Billy Cooper. Yeah. Billy Cooper.
When he had him on.
Yeah. There's a few other people that have been close to me that learned that name, that phase of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Phase of my life.
Phase of your life.
I think it was
Phase of my
the
life.
booze, maybe a few drugs here and there, but
It's all good, but we won't talk about that.
yeah, we don't get into that. That's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see how things turn around
What?
when you said, "Oh, damn, Joe, I'm learning more things about you."
Yeah, now you see
damn,
the
James.
table have turned.
Yeah.
The tables have turned.
Yeah, there you go.
You like it? All right.
No.
Yeah, no. Well, welcome to the show, man. I'm glad you showed up, and I was surprised.
I'm glad it's you.
I was too. I don't have anything. I know you as a person and a friend.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to do this podcast.
There you go.
I don't have to think of the questions. I know stuff, and I can always ask questions of things I know.
Yep. There you go. All good.
Want to start off?
Oh, okay. I'll say.
Yeah. I'm ready to chime in, baby. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Wow. Geez. Sorry, I'm shocked. We're up to 10 people already. That's
Yeah. See, there you go.
Jesus. So the people that are watching and the people that don't know who you are, who is Dave
Tobias. Yes.
Well, I'm from the area. I'm local. I grew up in Berrien Springs. Moved there right before kindergarten. Graduated from there back in '95.
Mm-hmm.
30 years ago, coming up here.
Yeah.
And once I actually, let me back up. So 97. So 97. My parents, my dad at the time was working over at Bosch in St. Joe.
Yep.
Worked there for years, and at that point in time, he gotten a job offer. He was looking for other jobs, and so my family ended up moving down south, down to Texas. That's where it took them. Well, I stayed behind. The reason I stayed behind was I was dating a girl, right?
I've been on that road before. I've been on that road. Yeah.
So I guess had I not stayed behind, I wouldn't be here doing the show. Right. So things happen for a reason.
Yes.
So that path kind of led me into just being around the area, and I always had a passion for cooking. Growing up, around my mom, my grandma, and Mexican household.
Yeah.
If you don't eat, if grandma says it's time to eat and you don't eat, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're sick.
Yeah.
What's wrong? Do you have a fever? No.
right.
But I've always been around food. I've had a passion for cooking. Throughout the junior high and into high school, did all the home ec classes.
Really?
Opted not to do like building trades, welding, things like that. I wanted to go into cooking. And there was a lot of girls in the classes too, so that helped out. Anyways, so I went into that, and then after high school, I had been in the restaurants. Actually, just like probably a lot of people, they start out like a fast food place.
Yeah,
I worked at Mickey D's and everything, through high school and even out of high school, whatever. You work your way up to like a management position,
right?
Paying like $7 an hour, whatever it is. Back then it's like big money, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Cha-ching.
But in any case, so after that, there was back in '97 down over here at the old Coast Guard station, was the Lighthouse. Brew pub.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had some friends from high school that ended up working there. They started there, and at that point in time, they're like, "Hey, you need to come put an application in." So I did, and the building was still kind of under construction. It was like the applications were in a mailbox, so I brought one, took one in, whatever. I figured, if it happens, it happens. I got a phone call, so I went in for an interview, and the chef's name at that time was Rick. I forget his last name off the top of my head. But in any case, so I ended up working there, and I'm trying to take this seriously. And my friends that are from high school, they're just kind of like extra money type thing. They were going to school, but they were going to college, and so there was a lot of clowning around, and stuff like that. And we had some good times and everything. That restaurant or that concept ended up going through at least 2 GMs during the time that I was there, and they brought in another chef at the time, Tim Sizer, Timothy's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I worked under Tim for a little while, and I had a friend that worked there. Her name was Ann. Let me give a shout out to Ann. She follows me and everything. So thanks, Ann. She ended up working at assisted living facility. Here on Niles Avenue, Caretel Inns.
Okay.
So she did that, and at that point in time, I was kind of like leaning towards leaving, just because not that it was toxic, but if I'm thinking they've changed over management positions and chefs and things like that. So I joined her, right? So I was basically like her sous chef, so to speak. So we work well together and everything like that. Beyond that, I did that for a little while. Then I got into a hospital, working over. That's when Berrien General had a hospital over there, and so I was running their kitchen during the morning shift and everything. Beyond that, I did that for a little while, and then after that, it pretty much just kind of led into different types of restaurant concepts. Ended up, I believe it was 2001. I ended up coming down to Chili's, put an application, and started out in the kitchen, and worked my way up into a corporate trainer. So what that meant was anytime that there were new store openings, there was a team that was assembled that would go for 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And they would go and help out these different stores that were opening up. So I was a part of that group, and that was really cool. I mean, it was long hours. There was a lot of beer that was being drank at the hotel and everything like that, like afterwards. But you make a lot of friends, and that group, they kept that group together. And every once in a while there'd be like somebody else coming in if a person couldn't come out and do it. But I did that for a while, and I think I had like 3 or 4 store openings under my belt for Chili's. Yeah.
Nice.
That's where James and I met.
Yeah.
So he was bartender, and I'll never forget with that stupid. Well, you got it on too, Notre Dame. That, I don't hold it against you, but at least you got the Bears on. At least we have that. I'm a Michigan fan.
I did like him at one time.
Well, whatever.
No, you are.
To each his own, right? But
right.
But anyways, hey, I mean, it is what it is. You can't think stupid, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you can.
Just well,
It's okay. I've seen my baseball.
No, but you know, we met and everything, and you know, hung out, things like that. So I worked there. Shoot, man, I don't even remember when I ended, but so during the time of me being a corporate trainer, then our store, the store down here, was a training store. So we'd have like different people coming in who were going through managers, and we would train them. And I was part of the team that was like helping train these managers and whatnot. And then I ended up getting promoted myself to a kitchen manager.
Okay.
Well, since they didn't really want me to work in the store, thinking that people wouldn't take me seriously because I had been there for several years, went over to Mishawaka. And then from Mishawaka, they were building a store in Goshen, and I kind of did the tour and then went out to Michigan City. Did that. So I guess a heavy restaurant background just kind of brought me to where I'm at. About 15 years ago. So I worked over at Applebee's too. Over here. Yep. I did a stint over here at Applebee's for a few years.
Yeah.
And I ended up being a server over there. But at one position was like a key manager. So I would like serve in the mornings and put on the dress shirt and whatever, and kind of like help out that, you know, in that regard. So after that was the last restaurant job that I had until now. So there's a gap. There's a 15-year gap. During that point in time, I had gotten into the forklift industry.
That's a twist.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Beth,
dun.
you know, my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yep. So Todd, her husband, was he offered me a position. So I worked with him in a shop. Never been. I've driven forklifts and things like that before, but never really got into the nuts and bolts of everything. So I worked with him for a little while, and during that time, there was a few times where I'd gone out with him on the road and stuff, kind of hands-on experience. Other than like working on my car or things like that, you know, I never really got into doing things like that. Wrenching, you know, that's what we call it in the mechanic world. Never really got into that. So one of the companies at that point in time that we would deal with every now and again was Morrison Industrial Equipment. And we would buy parts through them, things from that, and we would deal with the South Bend branch. There was one point in time where I had my resume like on monster.com, and I had received an email from the parts manager then, whose name was Matt. And he's like, "Hey, your resume landed on my desk." I said, "Oh, that's odd." You know, I don't know how that got filtered down, but in any case, so they asked me in for an interview, and I went in, and they asked me back for a second interview about a week later. And after I left that, about 2 hours later, I got a job offer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a Monday through Friday gig. At that point, they were doing like within the office staff, they were working Saturdays, but like for 4 hours. So it was a lot more stable. There was obviously no long nights. And when you have kids that are in functions and stuff, you kind of tend to miss those things. And then they got the holidays and things like that. So it's like, yeah, you know, I'm going to do this and see where that goes. And loved it. Loved my job. I was there 2.5 years before I got offered the management role, parts manager, as a parts manager. Matt, my predecessor, he had moved on to our Lansing branch. So I took over, and up until actually last Wednesday, the 30th, was my last day there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I put in 11.5 years, made a lot of friends. The core group of people that we have, I applaud them for doing a kick-ass job. And I actually, leading up to me putting in my notice back in early March, leading up to that point, it really didn't dawn on me. I didn't really think about it, you know, oh, my time's coming up. not until the beginning of last week when I, calling people or send me emails like, hey, counting down the days yet? And that's when the realization of it start hitting. I mean, I consider those guys family.
Yeah.
Just because I spent 50 plus hours with them. And I mean, we knew each other on a different level other than work.
Right.
But I will always be grateful for the time that I put in there and everything, and the people that I met, not just at our branch, but at other branches, because almost every quarter we had meetings. So I'd have to go up to corporate up at Grand Rapids, and you meet people and you talk to them, and you kind of know what's going on, and just kind of rolling ideas off each other, taking those back to your specific branch. And not really to toot my own horn, but I worked my way up to the point to where I was considered one of the parts managers that knew how to run the building and everything, run the department. The numbers don't lie type things, and we're very competitive.
Yeah.
The team we had there is a very competitive team. So, and all those years there, just kind of understanding and learning, and to the point to where people would ask me like, hey, what's this part? I would rattle a number off the top of my head without even looking. It was just instinct to me after working with it and things like that. I mean, when I first started, I was in amazement how the parts manager, Matt, could do that off the top of his head.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just kind of led into that, and there'd be some times where I'd drive home in silence and all these numbers were just rolling in my head, just things like that. But again, did that, and I miss it. And the other day, I mean, we have a group chat over there, and the other day somebody had chimed in on it and pretty much said like, hey, you remember the guy that left us, that deserted us? I'm like reading it, what? And they're like, oh wait, shouldn't this be under the new group chat without him? I'm like, what? They gave me on my last day. We went out to Wings over in off Portage on my last day. The cake that they got me said, "You're dead to us. Good luck."
Whoa.
I shit you not. I opened it up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, all right, let's see how this is gonna go.
Oh, damn.
I'm dead to you guys now, right? Like I don't even.
Wow.
Yeah. 11 and a half years and I'm dead to these people.
Wow.
So sorry to say this. I have before I forget to even read these. Michael Tobias says, hey, go Irish.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
When he got married, he had his groom's cake was a freaking football field.
Oh, was it really?
Oh,
That's awesome.
Hey, good job, Michael.
I like it.
I wouldn't even eat a piece of it. I didn't want to eat a piece of it.
And JT?
That's probably my youngest brother. Yeah.
Well, actually, JT says that's my father.
Oh, okay. So that's my dad. Then. Well, because my youngest brother, his name's John Alexander.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my dad.
So Michael Tobias is asking this question. I'm gonna kill this food right here though. What's the best beer to go with Birria taco plate?
The best. Okay, so the tacos that I make, they're not like your typical like lettuce, tomato.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want that, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Go to
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Exactly.
Waste your money. And,
Thank you.
this is a sponsored or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No. That's Taco Bell.
Well, waste your money. Go to
Shit, I wish
whatever.
I had Taco Bell.
But in any case, so the style of tacos that I do,
We're not now. No.
they're called I'm gonna say this in Spanish, birria. So birria.
Yeah, that's what it says. Thank
Yep.
you.
So that style of taco,
How do you say it though?
birria.
Birria?
Yeah, you've got to roll the R.
I can't roll my fucking R's.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. I physically can't. I never could. I took Spanish. I understand Spanish a
That's
little
why
bit.
you got an F.
No,
You
that's
can
why
roll
I got a C. I got a C because I can understand Spanish a little bit,
No, because
but I can never roll my R's.
you never rolled your R's.
Try it.
No,
Try it again.
no, I'm not gonna make. You're gonna make
Come
fun
on,
of me.
this one. I won't. I promise. I won't push a button.
Pretend.
I won't
Nope,
push a button.
not even gonna try.
Oh, damn.
Never
Joe.
could. Never could.
Yeah. So, anyways, so birria style tacos, right? It's corn tortillas. There's cheese on there. There's the meat, which cooks for about 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's got to be tender, and then it's seasoned up. But to go back to the question, what's the best beer to go along with it?
Yeah.
I would probably put either a Corona or Modelo with it.
Oh, and it's Jordan Tobias.
Oh, Jordan. That's my son.
Yeah, no, he said that's my father.
No, now I get it. Now it. Yeah. So that's my son, 16 years old.
He's my father, and he's proud of him. I'm proud of him.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
That's
There you
awesome.
go.
Tears
That
rolling.
tearjerker right there.
Tearjerker. No, so why is he asking about what's the best beer?
That's
No,
a
not
good question.
your son.
Oh.
Michael was.
Oh, okay.
Michael
I'm
was asking. That.
Jordan, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
What?
Michael was asking what's the best beer. To
yeah,
go
so
with.
I would put any of the Mexican style beers to go along
Yeah.
with it. Here's a game changer that I learned from my dad I went down to visit a couple weeks ago. So he drinks Mick Ultra Gold.
Yeah.
Is that even a beer up here? Because
I just heard that.
I don't think it's a
beer.
beer. I don't think it's a beer.
it's a beer down there.
Yeah, they may have it.
Mick Ultra Gold. So anyway, I bought
Sounds
Miller Lite.
interesting.
That's my beer choice. Anyway, so we rolled in. Me and my son went down there, and after a while, went and grabbed a case. Later on, it was a Thursday when I got down there. My dad had come home, and he's like, "Hey, I got this beer." I'm like, "Okay," and I knew he'd drink that kind. Anyways, so he's like, "You gotta do this." He goes, "Don't put salt," because I salt my beer. How many people salt? Do you salt your beer? I salt my beer.
No.
Anytime I drink a beer,
Put salt in it.
yep, no matter what,
can't.
Miller Lite, Corona,
Doesn't
whatever.
matter.
I
No,
can't.
Doesn't
do it.
matter.
I can't do it.
So, anyways, he takes a lime in his beer and then puts tahini over the.
Oh,
See, I don't like the heat.
No,
Yeah.
The rim.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he
A lot
ripped
of
that.
people do that.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me try that. Game changer for
Did
me.
you blow your mind?
Yeah, I was like, next thing I know, there's like 6, 7, 8 cans, or I'm like,
yeah.
whatever.
Going through it
We're
now.
just having a good, we're just having a good time and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, so anytime that we went out to eat a couple times, and anytime like he'd order his, I'm like, make mine same way. Yeah. So when I come back, I went into the store and bought some tahini. Yeah. So I'll just throw that on there. I'm like, there we go.
There you
So,
go.
where do you get your inspiration about cooking?
Again, that goes back to just growing up and seeing it in the house. Yeah, my mom, during the time of like elementary school up until I got into high school, she was the stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So we get out of school, come in the house, and the dinner would be cooking. You could smell it.
Yeah.
Or there'd be like cookies like being baked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Yeah. Chocolate chip, oatmeal, cookies, whatnot. But that kind of stuff. And then even on the weekends, we'd be sitting watching. There'd be like a cooking show in the background. And I was always amazed at how that person, whoever we were watching, was able to just make something with simple ingredients. And that's the way that I kind of started watching, kind of getting into it. And then of course, like I mentioned, just taking the classes during school. Never forget the first thing I made was like some mint type of cookie. It was, looking back at it, I could have done it a little bit better, but when you're like 6th, 7th grade, whatever, it's like, okay, hopefully this shit flies.
Right.
I mean, it tasted good,
Yeah.
but so just I got into it and I just fell in love with it. Now when I had gotten out of cooking and everything, working at restaurants and doing the forklift gig, in the forklift world, I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Well, I'm amazed by that.
What's that I just totally turned?
Yeah.
Switch it up. Yeah.
I switched it up. I mean,
That's one stream to another.
exactly. So, and then when I tell people like, hey, this is what I was doing, but now I'm doing this. So then I have to kind of go back like, well, I do have a food background. It's not like I just gave up working forklifts and said, okay, I'm going to try to put some shit together,
Oh.
No. So once, was that 5 years ago now, 4 years ago now, when COVID came around, right? And then, so that hit, and I'm still, obviously we're busy working. And once things kind of started to open up a little bit more, restaurants, businesses, people going back to work or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
Being in Beer and Springs, we've only got really like a McDonald's, we had the Pizza Hut.
Yep.
We had a Taco Bell. It's
all the corporate businesses.
yeah. Well, and
Actually,
then
yeah, you did almost have. You had one for a while. That just closed
That-
last year. wasn't it?
yeah, the one that's at the gas station.
Yeah, you had
right.
you had Baga de France.
I know I've never been a fan.
Really?
I've never been a fan.
Yeah,
I like-
they have that.
I like Baga
In the
de
beginning,
France.
I was a fan, but after a
Still
while,
a
it's just
fan.
like,
But
Shit's awesome.
so once I forgot I wanted something to eat late at night, and I'm like, things are closed. It's like
Yeah.
9:00. Things are closed. I'm like, okay, if you want something, then at that point you either gotta go here in St. Joe or hit up Niles or whatever. But I was like, forget it.
well, now shit, things in St. Joe close at 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They still
Yeah.
stay closed at 9.
yeah, yeah.
Which whatever.
It's kind of ruined the business. I mean, as far as people be able to find something to eat,
Yeah.
especially we got tourists in town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, they're gonna open back up till probably 10, but
no, dude. Last year it was the same way. It was 9:00, and I worked at the Sandbar. We get the overflow of people not being able to get any place to eat or any food anywhere.
Okay.
And we stay open 10, and we try to stay open a little longer after a while. But yeah, it's
And it's just
COVID
crazy to me. I'm like,
screwed it
man,
all up.
yeah, it did. And you
The lockdown screwed it
think
up.
about it. I mean, that messed a whole lot of things
Oh, yeah,
up. Not just with the food, but just there are a lot of different industries just kind of suffered with that. But there was so it was around Memorial Day 2021, and I had kind of gotten the itch to go back to cooking, and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it for myself. I'm not gonna work under the corporate stigma.
damn the man. The
yeah.
man's not gonna get
Well,
me down.
Well, I didn't mind working for the man, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of at their will, right?
Yeah.
You're under their schedule. If somebody calls off, no. I was that type of person that if somebody called off and they asked me to stay over, fine, give me
Right.
some hours. But rolling to my thoughts, I'm like, if I'm going to do something which I like doing and do it for myself, then I don't think it's going to be a problem.
No.
So you have to go through the red tape, of course, with opening up a business, especially food. You have to, contact the health department. And I wanted to get licensed and everything. Prior to that, though, I was kind of messing with the setup in my driveway. Figuring, because I didn't have a trailer at the time. So I'm like, well, if I go into places and do like a tent setup, I was trying to configure like how I would do it. So I would just kind of mess around with things in the driveway. And at that point in time, when I was making the food, it was for people at home.
Right.
It wasn't like to sell anything. There was a couple of kids that were walking by on a Saturday evening, and so the smell is just kind of like wafting through the neighborhood, whatever.
Oh, it makes people hungry.
Right.
What's
So
that smell?
they kind of stopped and like, what's going on? I kind of told them. And at that point in time, I was making the tacos with pork. Come to find out and talking with them that they're Seventh-day Adventists.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So, it's kind of
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
kills you right there.
yeah. So I'm like, okay. And but they're like, well, we can eat beef. I'm like, okay. I was under the impression that they couldn't, because I wasn't aware, but that they couldn't just eat meat at all.
right.
They told me that, and I kept thinking about it the whole night. Sunday morning, I ran down to Shelton's and bought some bulk beef, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then get a hold of them because they left me their number. So Sunday afternoon, I had everything done. Now I had it in beef. Texted them. They said, okay, we'll be over. Okay. They come over and they're like, oh, this is so good. We would pay money for this stuff. So that got the gears
Nice.
going.
Yeah.
I had one guy in particular, and I'll never forget it. He mentioned, he goes, this seems like home. This makes me feel like I'm at home. Well, I asked where home was. San Diego. I looked at him. I'm like, okay, explain. Let me. Well, he says back at home, you got people that they work their 9 to 5, whatever, and they get home and then they'll open up their backyards. Apparently, there's like an alley where he was from. You walk down, he goes, and you can pick your whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said you can have your pick of whatever tacos or things like that. He goes, this reminds me of that. I'm like, okay.
That's
so
awesome.
now that makes me start thinking a little bit more. Like if he's saying that this reminds him of home, and with the other comment about like I pay money for this stuff, I'm like, let me see if I can do something here then. So on the underground, I was selling stuff out of the driveway. At that point in time, I wasn't licensed with the health department,
Right.
Things like that. I had set up like a Square website and whatever. So I had people ordering food. I'd come home from work like on a Friday, switch it, get out of my office clothes, put on my stuff, set things up, 10 by 10 tent out, and I had a Blackstone or whatever out there. I'm just slinging food.
Yeah.
And people are like ordering.
Really?
Yep. I would sit out there in a just like a camper chair or whatever. And I had these group of Mexican guys that came up it was a Friday night. They came up around close to midnight. And at that point in time, I had made that Square website, and they said, well, we saw you. They didn't speak English, so I'm speaking to them in Spanish.
Yeah.
They're like, we're on our way from St. Joe to Dowagiac, and there's like nothing open. We found you. I'm like, I'll hook it up. So I hooked them up, whatever. And at that point in time, I told them, I was like, I don't want any money. Basically it's just, you guys are out late. You're hungry. Let me get you something to eat.
Right.
And you can be, so they, they were on their way. And so that gratification of making people happy through food, that's real.
Yeah. It is. Actually, it is. I give you that.
Yeah. So it is a real thing. So, and then I maybe start getting cocky with a little bit of doing that in my driveway, because I put the flag up in the yard. Get your tacos here. And I have friends that either work for or know people that work for the village and everything, and they're like, yeah, you might want to. I'm like, I get it, because here's the thing: if I want to be legit, I'm going to do it the right way.
Yeah, throttle that back.
Plus, I didn't want anybody to get sick and be on my dime.
Yeah.
With not being licensed and everything. So I stopped, and that would have been in 2022. So I basically did that for almost a year, right? Just kind of like underground taco sticker.
You build a little clientele.
Yeah. I mean,
so to speak.
Yeah. So I did that.
Taco ring.
Yes.
Right. So anyway, so I stopped doing that. I went and did the LLC thing. So I got myself a name. So the name, and I've said this before on other platforms, Jalapeno Grill.
Yeah.
So when you say it really fast, Jalapeno Grill, what does that make you?
Oh, definitely.
Jalapeno Grill.
I'm all up in your grill.
Oh, dang. I didn't see. That's a subliminal message. Okay.
I was just saying it faster.
Now your mind's blown, right?
Yeah.
I'm all up in your grill. Jalapeno Grill.
Jalapeno Grill.
Yeah. So that's how that's how the name came.
Right.
That's how that concept was born.
I like it.
So, but with that, so I did that, and then I went in and took all my tests and everything, my EcoSure test and the state stuff, and I passed it, and really wasn't too worried about it, because a lot of it's common sense.
Yeah. Especially, if you've been in the business long enough, you know what you have to go through.
Exactly. And from time to time they'll throw in something different, but all you got to do is just keep up on it. So I went through that, got myself licensed, and then so that would have been beginning of 2023. In April of 2023, I purchased a trailer, bare bones trailer, and it's a horse trailer, right? So I basically took a horse trailer, 16 by 8 horse trailer, and with the equipment that I had, just kind of started building it on my own. I mean, I come home from work, I get out there, and through that whole year, I just be busy, doing things like that.
Doing stuff with that.
Yeah. So I made it to the point to where in 2024, I think it was January or February, I had been reached out to by my friend Kelly, who at that point in time was working for the Village of Berrien Springs. She asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Pickle Festival, 4th of July.
Oh yeah, Springs. Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah. So I said, I'll be ready. I signed up, I paid my fee and everything. So now I'm like, shit, I got to get hustling now. Right. Yeah. So there's no turning back. I got to get this done. So, I mean, there was a lot of the learning curve of like putting the stuff together, making sure where it's going to fit, because when you work in a trailer, you got to utilize every inch.
Oh yeah, definitely
in there,
definitely.
So, the coolers, the flat top grill and everything, all the equipment. And I'm just sitting here, okay, this. Now you got to work vertical space, right? So got everything set up, good to go. Was in contact with the health department quite a bit, actually. So, when some people hear the health department, they're like,
You're a little nervous about it.
Well, here's the thing. If you're straight up with them and you contact them and ask questions, they will help you.
Oh, yeah.
They're not there they want businesses to succeed,
Keeps them in business.
Exactly. So I went ahead and did that in multiple emails and phone calls and things like that. Like, hey, pictures. Will this work? Will this not work? Oh, you got to change. Okay, fine. Not a problem. So, my initial inspection was on the 2nd of July, knowing that I had to be open, that I signed up on the 4th. So coming out, I couldn't have come any closer than that.
Oh, man,
that was really close.
Yeah.
So the inspectors came out, went through everything, and there was 2 of them at the time. Wasn't overwhelming at all whatsoever. Again, they were very nice and everything, answered the questions that they had. They went through, they were there for maybe about a half an hour or so, and they gave me the stamp of approval.
Nice.
Damn.
So at that point in time, I was officially set to open, which I did on the 4th of July last year. And so from then until now, there's been a lot of learning on the job or on the site, learning like what's going to work, what's the best flow. So I've got it dialed in pretty well. I do have one person. She's 16 years old now. Her name's Ava. She's actually, before I opened, I threw out a post on Facebook like, hey, is there anybody looking for a summer job or something for the kids? Well, my friend Alicia from work, she was like, hey, my daughter, I'm like, okay, bring her in. She has no experience, but you know what? Sometimes that is the best type of person to have at a job.
Because you shape and mold them the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can shape and mold them. So she came in and started working, and she's been with me ever since.
No, really?
Yes. 15 years old when she started and until now. And when we work, we can read each other without really having to talk to each other.
That's scary.
No, that's a good thing though.
It is a good thing.
That's continuity right there.
Yeah, we have that sometimes. I just don't listen to
it. So she primarily works in the back. She'll get everything ready, whatever, and I love working with her. Yeah. I like having her there. And like I said, any bad habits that she would develop, it's either because I didn't teach,
right?
So
it's a learning lesson.
Yeah. So just molding her and everything and getting her to the point to where we can continue to do this. Now, since then, because I hadn't really been in the industry and knowing where to go, just marketing myself.
Yeah.
Since I opened up in July, that would be considered like the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Normally things will close down either after Labor Day or whatever. But I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna continue to see if I can do this. Doing it on the weekends only because of my main job. So I hit up Watermark. I went to a couple other places, reached out. I actually started following different local food trucks, figuring where they go.
Yeah.
And seeing if I can just try to get myself in there for whatever was open for the remainder of the season. So I was able to do a couple things, kept me busy on weekends and whatever. And so I operated through the winter. I didn't even stop.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So when we had a couple days where it was like 0 degrees outside,
you were there doing
I was out there like hustling. I put with the grill and everything in there, it stays pretty warm.
Yeah.
But then I put a couple of heaters.
Oh, outside?
No, inside.
Inside, keep it.
Well, I got to keep myself warm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
But in any case, so I did. There was a Christmas at the Village. They call it in Berrien Springs.
Yeah.
So I did that. I started getting asked to come out to different companies and businesses to provide their lunch. So I went out one place and it was freezing. I think it was a negative temperature that day. I'm sitting there in a t-shirt and you got these people out there in parkas and, winter coats. They're like this and that. One thing that I learned, and I don't remember which truck it was. It was that Watermark. I want to say it was the Munchie Man was out there. The day that I went in there, just dropped my cart off. I was talking to somebody, and I noticed they had pager system.
Oh yeah, it was
Right.
Munchie Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it. I'm thinking to
You
myself.
talked about that too.
Yeah, you
I'm-
did. That's
yeah.
why I remember that.
So I'm like, I need to get pagers. If I'm at a place like Watermark where people like will go in and
in
eat,
and out. Yeah.
yeah. So I got myself a pager set up. That blows people's minds when I give it to them. Like, hey, we'll page you when it's ready. Okay, cool. Because
Yep.
when you're dealing with colder weather too, and some places I'll be,
Just go back to sitting in the car. And wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be at I'll pop up somewhere and I'll give them a pager and they'll just go sit in the car or whatever, and they'll come back when the food's ready.
Oh,
So that right there is a game changer. So you learn different tips and tricks, at least me, from watching how other people.
I like what he's doing now because I used it.
The telephone thing.
Yeah, telephone.
Yeah.
What?
He does a phone thing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where
You can call ahead in advance.
You get their phone number, and
Yeah.
when their food is ready, it sends a text to them.
I think I have the ability to do that. I just haven't really messed with it.
Yeah.
Or
Too much.
he calls in. I can call in advance. You can call in advance. Get like a DoorDash almost type scenario where you have your food ready and you pick it up in 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then you just come up and pick it up. Instead, you call it ahead.
Okay. So I on the platform I'm using, Square, I know we have an online ordering thing,
Yeah.
and I've utilized that a couple times, but I've got to dial something in because there's so many different settings for a lot of the stuff, and
Technology is advanced.
Well,
every turn.
yeah.
Every time we turn around here.
yep. But
So you have to be on top of that at all times.
exactly. So and there's sometimes where I get stretched to the point where like, oh, I gotta email to answer, I got a text message or whatever the case is. But so operating through the wintertime, I didn't really slow down at all. After the first of the year, I had already been contacted by somebody up in South Haven to do New Year's Eve this next year.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
that
Nice.
far in advance.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what?
So you kind of cater, or do you take your truck up there?
I would take my truck up there. There's some sort of like winter event that's going on up there in South Haven. So they asked me to be a part of it.
Damn, that's kind of cool.
So when I started getting inquiries like that, already looking ahead, so now my head's starting to kind of go, the gears are grinding, they're turning. And then there was a couple different places that had contacted me since then, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah, no, not a problem. We'll be there. And then, then there was a Google Calendar created, so now I'm filling in spots, and a lot of it's on the weekends because, the job that I had, my main job, to the point to where like February come around, and then I started getting more and more inquiries. I just, every time I go out, before I go out anywhere, I try to put it on Facebook. Like, hey, we're going to be here.
Notice that because now I have you on Facebook and I like it and watching where you guys are at.
Yeah.
So-
So I started doing that, and social media, it is where it is. It's huge. So started doing that, and now I've got certain people that follow me, like, hey, where are you going to be? Are you going to be somewhere tonight?
Yeah.
Or they'll just show up, and I'll know them by name, which is cool. So I got repeat customers, right?
There you
And I
go.
don't think of them as customers. So,
Now they're friends and part of the family. Now.
Exactly. So, we want to make sure they're taken care of. So there's Tyler that comes in. He always gets 4 tacos, no cilantro.
Yeah.
There's Ryan. He comes out. He gets my dippy dip sandwich. I mean, just things like that. You understand, I mean, it'd be no different than you having somebody go to your bar. Like, you already know what they're going to drink.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it all the time. I
Yeah.
did it
So-
last night. I was like, saw some people come in. I was like, oh, I know what they want.
Yeah.
Get it ready.
And that's the thing. Once you build that type of relationship up, I mean, people keep coming back, and
I don't drink. So.
it's more now on a personal level than just coming in to order food.
Yeah.
But there was I had a meeting at work. I think it was in February, maybe it was March. I think it was February. Anyways, so I had gone up to Grand Rapids, and on my way home, I always stop in Holland. That's where my grandparents grew up in there, or that's where they lived, but that's where they're also buried.
Okay.
So I always stopped there at the cemetery on my way home, paid my respects
That's nice.
and everything. And at that point in time, there was debris, whatever, over the headstone. So I was cleaning things off. But because I had been thinking about like the food thing more and more, I basically was like, hey, you know, in my thoughts, I was like, hey, I'm doing this. Show me a sign. I didn't physically say it, but I'm thinking it, like, give me a sign. It was overcast that day. Not even 10 seconds had gone by after my thought. The clouds broke open, the sun was out. Like, boom, there we go.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
It's not bad.
right away, you know, I got into it, was in my head. That was the sign that I needed. As I was leaving, I called my mother because it was her parents. I called her and told her that, and I could hear that she had gotten choked up.
Yeah.
Right. And she had mentioned to me, like, on my way home, before that, she's like, I want you to do me a favor and tell me how far you get home that the sun's still out. I drove all the way from Holland down this way, and it stayed with me the whole time. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So
You want to read some of the?
Yeah, I can.
You over there laughing? You over there laughing the whole
It's the
time?
questions that's making me
That's
laugh.
funny.
It is. It's the questions I would think of, but
Go
at
ahead.
the moment. So this one's from Michael again. He has two questions, but I'll do the second one in a little bit. What's the best and most rememberable Mexican food you ever eaten? Sorry.
well, that's a tough one.
No,
Just because
that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said that's a good question.
well, so in my house, it wasn't that we only ate Mexican food. I mean,
Ate all kinds. Yeah.
but one of the best times that we had that I remember is like on the weekends. Every once in a while, we would my dad would fire up the grill, and he'd have his high lifes or whatever, you know, and he'd make fajitas, skirt steak. I mean, like the real shit, right?
Yeah.
And so my mom handmade tortillas. I mean, it
Oh,
doesn't get any
man.
better than that.
That does it, man. Oh, handmade too. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Pressed
Yeah,
it and
so-
everything. Wow.
So we would have that. I mean, there was 5 of us growing up. It was my parents and my 2 younger brothers. And we would just sit there, you know, eat, and nothing any more than just having a good time.
Yeah.
Right. So that would probably be the thing that I remember most is having that. And even when we went to my grandparents' house every now and again, I mean, they make a lot of food.
Damn.
You know, especially during the summer, the grill be going, and charcoal. You got to use charcoal.
Yeah.
You know, you get that smell.
Yep.
You know, you can't get that out of an LP.
Propane gas tank. Yeah.
Not at all.
The next question is from Jordan. What's the favorite dish to make?
What's your favorite dish?
What's your favorite dish to make?
Well, if we're talking just like in
Anything.
general,
Yeah, he says it wasn't really specific on which one. It says, what is your favorite dish to make?
you realize you said Pacific, right?
No, I didn't. I do
You
say
did,
yes.
Yeah. He says a lot of weird shit.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Says a lot of weird shit, man. No, it's not his first rodeo.
no. Anyway,
It's
so
not the first time I heard that one either.
it would probably be something to do with the kids, right? Because to me, making food is a way of taking care of people.
Yeah.
Right. So I would always make them pancakes and bacon in the morning. It's like, hey, you want pancakes and bacon? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Or
Silver dollar pancakes or big
no,
pancakes?
it'd be just regular
Size
size.
pancake.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it, man.
Mm-hmm. Get that syrup.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
the syrup going. Or even ribs. Like the kids eat ribs. And so as they grew older, the taste buds, they get enhanced.
Yeah.
Now, no, we want steak. I'm like, okay. Can I get a T-bone or something like that? We go out to eat. You know, they're like, oh, we want to get that sirloin. I'm like, I'm looking at the menu. Go ahead. Okay, you can get the 6 ounce. No, I want the 12 ounce.
Grown ass
You
kid.
know, yeah, no. So, and it's fine. You know, they're meat eaters. I
Yeah.
mean, which is fine. You know, here they are eating their steak, and I'm at a steakhouse eating a salad.
Everybody else got a
I
steak
don't
except
feel
me.
bad. I'm the
You
same.
know, it is what it is. Well, here's the thing. Back, I don't remember what year it was, 2013, maybe it was before March of 2013. I found out I was diabetic.
Wow.
I'm diabetic too, so I take metformin.
Okay.
So at that point in time, I had to totally change up
Change your whole
Everything.
diet.
my whole diet.
Yeah.
So what I would consider like my beer fridge, I basically just turned it to my bottled water fridge.
Vodka.
Right? It's clear.
Sugar-free one.
But no, so I found that out and I had to totally change everything up, which is fine. It runs in my family.
Yeah.
My brother Michael, he's diabetic. My grandfather was diabetic. So it was only a matter of time. But my thought process was if I don't go to the doctor and he doesn't tell me about it, I
don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's real.
Yeah.
So
That shit is real.
and in order to be a little bit healthier and everything, you got to do it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You got to make the change. You got to force yourself. So now I'm reading labels and stuff, and the dietitian at that point in time was like, you got to make sure, if you're gonna do something like whole wheat, make sure it says whole wheat. If it says enriched wheat, that's not gonna work.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Well, the way they explained it to me made sense. I'm like, okay, so now, and I'm buying, these kind of like hamburger buns or whatever. $8 for a little 4-pack of like hamburger buns.
Dude, yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
maybe this is the problem where some people in America might be a little on the bigger side, right?
Right.
You want to pay like $8. It's expensive to eat healthy.
Yep.
You're gonna go to this grocery store and buy like the $1.50 pack of like buns, save some money, or you're gonna buy like the healthy stuff and pay like 5 times the price for it.
It's a 50-50 chance that people,
It's really
at least
healthy.
50% chance that we have people that are overweight, obese.
Yeah.
I think it's a 60% chance, a 60% where people are overweight or obese in this country because of the food that we eat and consume all the time. Whether it's fast food, whatever the case may be, shit you can buy in a store, chips,
Yeah.
dip, the whole 9 yards. We don't eat healthy enough. in this
No.
country.
Calling me fat.
No, I'm calling myself fat. I'm gaining some weight, bro. I'm telling you.
But
I haven't.
so
Losing.
knowing that, and at that point in time, I had switched over from like drinking regular Coke to Diet Coke.
Yeah.
McDonald's has the best Diet Coke anywhere.
Yeah.
But I actually, 2017, I stopped drinking pop
Altogether.
I cut that out. So I got water. I do my energy drinks, sugar free. Not that it matters, right? Because
Right.
like it's still an energy drink, but not too big on a coffee. Sometimes I'll drink an iced coffee. And then I save my carbs for beer. If I'm gonna do carbs,
I'm gonna drink beer.
I'm gonna drink a beer. You got healthy choices, right? Healthy choices.
So,
You gotta pick and choose your battles, man.
Yeah.
so the next question is coming from Michael again. When do you bring in the truck to Southeast Texas? I still haven't had any food yet, but I would tear that shit up. I kind of put in words in there. He said he'll tear it up, but I put shit up.
Well, there you go. It sounds better the way you said it.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know. That's we're talking about a 14 hour drive.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
It is a long haul, and then you got a trailer on top of that, and like now you got to worry about keeping everything cold.
Yep.
I mean,
That's a long haul.
it is a long haul. I mean, I've done that drive. I don't know how many times.
I don't sound like you're not getting any food, Michael. I'm sorry. You have to come up here if you want it.
Yep. I don't luck, brother.
I mean, I'll hook it up when I'm down there. That's not a problem. But yeah, I would love to go down there. So the idea is also in the future of where I see this going is like in the winter times, if I can be mobile, why not hit up the warm spots?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it'd be like, either down there in Texas or go down to Florida, somewhere like that, just kind of test the waters. I know there's different food trucks and that kind of do that kind of stuff. Or
Go to the southern tip of Indiana to start off and see how far you can go down where it gets warm.
true.
Test the waters.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of like contacting the state, the health department, trying to figure out what the rules and regulations are because they're different. Up here in Michigan, I got a license, which is good for the whole state.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you that because so you can park anywhere that you
I can park anywhere, but here's the thing. So different cities, towns, what have you, they got their own set of rules.
Yeah.
So even though I'm licensed throughout the whole state, can go anywhere, the only thing I have to do is contact that health department and that county's health department, or research and find out if there's like a permit that I would need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like that.
Because St. Joe only has 7 spots. Remember, they only have 7 spots you could set up in St. Joe, and 3 of them are already taken because of who they are and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hot dog guy just started last week.
Yeah.
I don't know why they count that as a spot. They should just give them that spot, put a little plaque down there and says the hot dog spot.
Give them the grandfather day tag.
Pretty much. Historic and landmark.
A landmark.
Yeah. So for instance, I go to Watermark over here quite a bit. Actually, I was glad that the day that I stopped in there and threw in my business card, they had told me at that point in time that they were full for the season. They had their schedule already up. I mean, like I said, I had opened up in July, but something happened to where they had a cancellation.
Oh, get your foot in the door.
Yep. So that's where I got my foot in the door. And so since then, when I go there, I hype it up during the beginning part of the week because normally it's like on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And I have people that are follow me and they go out there and they have a good time.
Yeah.
So within the different, not only that, but like within the different markets that are going to be coming up around here, you got Bridgman, Three Oaks, Buchanan, things like that. So I've already got my calendars full. So my weekends right now are pretty much booked until through September.
There you go.
And then thank you. And then so once I put in my notice at work, once I had that realization after the cemetery thing, I put in my notice at work, let the branch manager know what my thoughts were. And first he's like, well, you're going to be dead to us, but congratulations.
They weren't playing, were they?
No, not at all.
Just fucking playing around.
So anyway, so I go ahead and told them what's going on. And now we're trying to, I chose to leave at the end of April, the last day of April, because that's when we have our corporate wide or company wide like inventory. I didn't want to leave them up in the air.
They still dead to you.
Yeah. But anyways,
group chat.
Be nice, and they still dead.
So I stayed and I wanted to help see through that and everything. But knowing that I was going to be doing that transition from having that 7 to 5 Monday through Friday job and doing this was I guess one could say that it might be scary. Like because it's not stable, right? You don't have I have to worry about finding insurance, private insurance, because and my 401k and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up putting my phone number or whatever out there for insurance, and oh my gosh, I'm people calling
you all the time.
Yeah, it was the dumbest thing that I ever did. One of the dumbest things I ever did. Recently here. But anyways, so I ended up getting set up that way, taken care of. And then the inquiries started coming more and more. Like, can you do this? Can you be here for this? So that just kind of helped me realize that what I'm doing is the right thing. It just, not just testing the waters, because I've already been doing it on weekends primarily. But yeah, the different markets that are coming up, things like that, just kind of filling up the schedule. Today, I was over at a Perennials Galore out on the outskirts of LaPorte in Indiana.
Oh, really?
So I am licensed in LaPorte County in Indiana. Okay. So I'm trying to migrate myself and kind of open up the market of where I'm going to be at. So I need one of the other ones is I need to contact St. Joe County and things like that. Which actually a couple of weeks ago, I was at Indiana Whiskey on Sample Street in St. Joe County. What I understand is, and the way it was put to me by their health department, is if I'm at a business and providing something for their patrons, I don't need to go to the health department and get a permit or anything.
Really?
Because at that point in time, the way it's explained is that specific business should have
The
done
S
their
on the front.
should have done their due diligence.
Yeah.
About the whole thing. So I was able to go down there. It rained on me pretty much the whole day, but I had a really good turnout. Been invited back. And that's one of the good things is if you can put something good out that's a little bit different, like what I do, and get invited back. I mean, that's a win right there.
That's definitely a win.
So,
right there.
so the style of the tacos I do, like I mentioned, it's something that I started seeing videos on. There was a lot of like different TikToks and whatnot. So I figured, hey, we don't have anything like that out here. You know, you have just regular street type tacos, Mexican tacos, or whatever the case is, but there's nothing that's just strictly this style, the birria style. So I'm like, okay. I started making them more and more, started dialing down the recipe and the method of which I'm doing it to the point to where I've got it zoned in pretty well, and it's different. So I guess like the tagline or the slogan was like "Dare to be different," because we're not your lettuce and tomato. I've had so many people like, "Hey, can I get chicken? Can I get lettuce, tomato? Do you have ground beef?" Like, so I'm sorry, like I don't have that. This is the style that I do. So I just want people to understand, like,
it's a certain style.
It is a certain style. So and if you want that, that's fine. It's just not what we do. Yeah. So if you're looking for this style, we can provide that. So like I mentioned with the concept of the name, the concept of different names of the items that we do, we want to make it fun. We want to have people remember it. So I do a version of like a French dip sandwich. So there's I
saw the picture of that.
Yeah, we got the long hoagie roll. We'll fill it up with the meat, onion, cilantro on top of it, served with the side of the consomme. So if people don't know, which I've had asked, like, what do you do with that? Like a French dip. You eat it. But we serve that along with the tacos and everything too. And the idea is you dip the tacos in it. That consomme is the beef broth in which that meat is cooked. So it's nicely seasoned up.
That's on your face, Joe. I did a shoulder move.
And like I said, there's a method to it, and we've got it going pretty well. So when people are like, "Well, can I get?" I've had people just order that. Yeah. Can we get a side of that? Yeah, not a problem. But that's the way that you're supposed to do it. So it's funny because one of the photos on the side of my trailer is like, it's either like show us your dip pics, because it's a play on the words.
It is.
So it's a play on the term.
Wordplay, man. That's awesome. That's brilliant.
Like, we like your dip pics,
I love it.
Dip your tacos.
Hey, we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah. So
all right. We're at the top of the hour, guys. This is Third Eye Truth There podcast. Come at you again. It's 9 p.m. Man, show us your dip pics. Come at the bad time.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. Okay, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can get more content like this each week, Monday and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Sorry, guys. 8 p.m. This is Third Eye Truth There podcast. I'm James Gill, your host. This is Joe Hill, co-host, and our guest tonight, David Tobias.
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys. Let's get back into the show.
All right. So I'm kind of curious. What did you bring?
So I don't remember which position I had. Okay, so
gotta stretch out for this one.
So obviously I made this before I came, wanted to get you guys fed.
Oh, that's fine.
So it's not going to have that same appeal as if it were fresh. But the number one seller, my original menu item, would be my birria tacos. So here we got, the taco plate, you got 3 of the birria style tacos, comes with rice, comes with consomme, limes. If you take a look at that, you see how that cheese is melted on there?
You look at that, guys. That's a beautiful plate.
Yeah. So that's my number one seller.
You want to look at it, Joe?
He's hungry.
You want to look at it?
He's hungry. So we got that. Yeah, there's a fork. If you want to eat on the air, but there you go.
Oh, look at that. Is that
this is my flaming hot Cheeto burrito.
Flaming hot
Cheeto burrito. Mm-hmm. Joe, your ears is perfect. The headphones.
I put this on the side. Yeah. So this comes standard.
Uh-huh.
But if you want to make it wet, got to put that queso over the top.
Oh,
Got to get that queso.
yeah.
Oh wow, look at that! You even showed it on the camera. Look at that.
Yeah, let me show this on the
So,
camera too. Wow.
Here we go.
I just want to try.
Oh man, you guys, looking at this right here. This is beautiful right here.
Yeah.
James, what would you think that weighs?
That's at least 2 pounds.
Yeah, 2 to 3 pounds.
2 pounds.
Yeah, we fill that up.
Oh hell yeah, you do.
We fill those up.
Holy shit! Joe's already eating.
He's not waiting.
No, I had some rice.
So didn't you?
I just wanted some rice.
Yeah, so I brought those. And I've got a lot of other things on the menu. So everything
That
is
smells good,
tailored around that the meat. The
Oh,
meat
shit.
is the staple of everything. And what I tried to do was keep it simple.
Yeah.
Use the meat, you create different things with it and try to make it fun and memorable. So we've got these two things. Again, that's the number one seller. We do this.
Now what's this in here? Right here.
This is the consomme.
That's,
So that's the broth.
that's the dip.
Yeah, that's the broth.
That's the dip.
That yeah.
Oh, I keep saying oh, the microphone's so good.
Yeah, bad timing.
That's the dip.
Bad timing.
I can make these weird noises on the microphone, dude. Sorry, man.
That's the dip.
Yeah. So anyways, I brought those two things for you. One, it's gonna fill you up.
Oh, I bet.
You know.
Oh, my
It's gonna fill you up.
stomach's growling now.
You know we're sharing that 50-50.
Oh,
It's cut in half.
Yeah, I know. I see it right there in
Yeah,
the
I know.
middle.
Mhm. Yep.
I was just looking at
I know,
It's
I
cut
know,
in
I
half.
know, Jim.
So
wipe off that
so we've
drool.
got those two things. I mentioned my dippy dip sandwich, which
Yeah.
is like the French dip,
Yeah.
right? We have birria sticks, which are almost like flautas. They're made with flour tortillas. So we'll take those, we'll roll them up. Makes it a lot easier to eat because you can pick them up and dip
Oh,
those.
yeah.
So at first I hated making them. I put them on the menu, but again, it's not for me, right? It's
Right.
for
For the
people.
Yeah.
And I was like, here comes another order. Here comes another order. I mean, I'm having to like roll these. I use my tongs and like burn the shit out of my hand,
Yeah.
even though it's got I got gloves on and everything. But you know what? That's turning into something that we're selling quite a bit of.
Yeah.
So again, it's what the people want, and they like them. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of it.
Yeah, no,
So,
dude.
So we got that. I do have like a vegetarian quesadilla.
Yeah.
My inspiration with that, Chili's.
Real. Oh, I
Remember they had a veggie
yeah,
case?
Yeah.
But we use smoked mozzarella cheese, if I remember right. And then there was like the spinach,
Yeah.
almost like the spinach dip. And so we got veggie quesadillas, which is artichokes, mushrooms, the onion cilantro, and the cheese in there. Toast that up. So we do have options. I've had people ask me like, what do you got gluten-free? Well, if you get the regular tacos, less the rice, I mean, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
We've got nachos on the menu, macho nacho. That's that again, there's a lot of weight to it.
Is that the same thing?
That's the same thing. Yeah, the consomme.
We got one.
Yeah, you gotta dip it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
dip
just
it.
So see, this
I
has
was
a
gonna
lot.
get-
Yeah,
Lot.
gotta get that seasoned dip pit going.
See, look, now. Yeah. Well,
That's the
we'll leave it open now.
That's the funniest thing I heard all time.
So
You dip
actually,
it.
to go with your cooking and showing the food, I kind of did this on purpose. So one of the questions was, what's your favorite music to play when you're cooking in the truck?
Really enough, I don't even have music
Yeah.
going really.
Sorry, Michael, no music.
Yeah, there's not really music.
No.
Every once in a while, like I'll have my Bluetooth speaker. I was up at Allegan last weekend, not this past weekend, the weekend before. I was up there, and next to us was it was a Shipshawana on the road. They had a market that they did up in Allegan. Next to us was Kona Ice, and then next to Kona Ice was a kettle popcorn guy. So I was the only like real food up there. Well, Kona Ice gets there, they got their Saturday, and they have like their music playing. All I'm thinking of is like Tropics, right? They had like that going, whatever. I normally don't play the music. So Sunday when we set up, they got there and they started, playing their music, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm gonna grab my Bluetooth speaker out of here, which hits pretty hard. So I set it out on the table, and I mean, it was accordions and trumpets all day. Every second, guns going off, like shotguns going off in the air, things like that. And So I had that going. You get people's attention.
Yeah,
Like, oh, there's tacos.
Yeah.
I get so many inquiries like, hey, you should just roll yourself up and down the street like the ice cream truck. Just like, what are you gonna play like a garacho like as I'm going down the street? Yeah, as I pull up at somebody's driveway, hey, I'm here.
Right.
Oh, okay. And we can tell the party doesn't end. And never go to a Mexican party because you won't go home.
Oh, dude, you don't.
All night. It's all night thing.
Yeah, it's an
all night, all day.
You ever been to one?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I got to feel it. I'm gonna be at one eventually.
Yeah, it's
I would love to. I would love to do that.
Been there.
Have you really?
Yes.
How was it?
I gotta take 2 naps, man. Shit, my age, man.
Dude, it was a blast.
That's no lie. I mean, you get to a certain point, you're like, oh man, I can't do this anymore.
It was rough.
I gotta take a nap before we go out. Because back in the day, we'd be getting ready like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night to stay out until like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, no problem.
No,
Wake up.
not anymore.
Stay up to 4 and 5 in the morning, and then wake up,
playing cards or doing whatever.
It was the best drinking and eating and
bounce right back up and do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You just
go to work in the morning.
Yeah,
go to work in the morning. You still have the stamp or the wristband.
Yeah, wristband on. Mm-hmm. Drunk or hungover,
sweating it out. Like, oh no, this sucks.
That's party all night, dude.
So the next question is coming from Jordan again. Will he be coming over to Michigan City because the people here would tear the fuck up too?
You just put the.
Did he just do that?
No, I did.
No, he did. Joe does that all
the
time.
I had to make it sound good for myself. I'm the one that's reading it.
So, look at my schedule here.
Michigan City
is actually on the schedule.
Where would you go to Michigan City?
Well, here's the thing. They have a music festival coming up the weekend of the 24th, the weekend before Memorial Day.
Oh.
So it's a 2-day thing. I'll be there.
Nice.
Washington Park.
Oh, really?
Yep.
See, Jordan, he'll come comes to Michigan City, but not Southeast Texas.
Yeah.
Well, that was my brother Michael that asked that.
I know, but
anyway, so I've got Michigan City's on the schedule, as well as their farmers market and over in LaPorte. So those two alternate like Saturday and Sundays. So I'm on the schedule for that. There's like a summer concert series that's happening in LaPorte that I'm on schedule for. So things like that. The more and more I got inquiries to doing things like that, the more it kind of solidified the fact that I made the right choice, because being able to make your own schedule and do that. And there's been a few times where I've had to say no, like because I'm already scheduled. People will reach out. It's funny. So Twisted B in Dowagiac, the dispo over that way.
Yeah.
I was there on 420. And they asked me about a week or so ago if I could be there today. Well, I was already scheduled, and I don't like having to cancel on something and reschedule. But I've already made a commitment to that. They're like, well, we know that you're scheduled already on Cinco this year. We want to book you next year for Cinco. Next year.
Damn.
Already.
Can you, in advance. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm scheduled already. Like I said, I got the New Year's Eve thing here in South Haven. I've already got my other thing going on next year. So
that means you're doing something good for the community.
And that's the thing. So when I said earlier,
food looks good.
Food brings people together. I guess what brings me joy out of the whole thing is when you got somebody walking away, or they open it up like right there. Yeah. Their jaw or their faces kind of drop like in awe.
Or you get the shivers.
Yeah, you get the shivers. But
shoulder shrugs.
Yeah. Or Joe Rogan. Tyrone Biggums.
Making these weird noises in the microphone too.
Anyways, so the fact that I've heard compliments, so many compliments. Yeah. And I'm not tooting my own horn because it's real. I mean, you get people coming up to me like after they've eaten, like, "Hey, the food was so good," or "That was the best taco I've ever had."
That's the best feeling too.
It is. It makes you feel good and makes you realize that what you're doing and what you're providing to the community is a good service.
Yeah.
Something that people are used to, and they know they can come back and get that same type of
rely on that same kind.
Exactly.
I understand that.
That's what gives me the joy out of doing it.
Oh, yeah,
and,
definitely.
and I don't consider it to be work at all. I mean, with me enjoying cooking, it was not hard for me to say, fuck it, and I'm just going to leave over there and just do this, because to me, it's like a hobby.
Yeah.
It's second nature. I mean, I got it dialed in, like I mentioned a few times, and what we're doing is something good, and just trying to, I guess, find ways to bring people together, to where they're having a good time, they're enjoying the food, and then if you follow me, figure out where I'm going to be at and things like that. So, again, with the social media and just the marketing yourself and things like that.
I think that's the same way we feel about this podcast. It's something we enjoy doing, getting to know different people, learning about what they're doing for the community, what they provide for the community, things of that nature. It goes much deeper than what it looks like on the outside, because you're just doing it for money or whatever the case may be. But I think, like I said, I can speak for Joe. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking to different people all the time. We meet new people, reaching out to people, and providing something for everybody else to watch, so they can get to know that person and what they're doing too. So
right,
it goes. It's levels to it.
There are many
so many
levels
levels to it.
It's true. Actually, it's spot on. It's definitely true. For us doing this, I like meeting new people and doing everything and finding new stuff out that I already didn't know about them, or I did know about them. It's nice to have that feeling. And people are watching and coming up to us and say, I didn't know about that person. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. So now they're asking questions and say, when are you going to have them back on? So I have another question I can ask them now. So
it's providing the service for the people that out there that don't know about, especially smaller businesses.
Yeah.
Don't know about those businesses, and they find out, oh, well, I didn't know that person had a business, or they're doing this with the community. Mm-hmm. They'll be more inclined to follow you.
Yeah.
My question is, since it's the food truck thing right here in front of me, this beautiful food.
Yes.
Did you ever think that you're going to cook Mexican food, or were you thinking when you did a food truck in your head that after you had your epiphany and all that, were you going to just say, yes, this is what I was going to do, is Mexican type food?
Yes. So I've been in many different concepts, and I know a lot of different methods of cooking. And up until 4 years ago or so, I never knew about that style of taco. Like I said, it's bigger. It was bigger back then on the West Coast. And I'm like, well, I got to bring this out this way.
Yeah.
This is something that you just don't see on an everyday basis.
Those tacos are fat too.
Yeah, we pack them. We are not shy with the portions.
Yeah, I love that.
So you definitely get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I started messing with the tacos and just kind of like creating that, and once I got that dialed in, it was easy for me to come up with the other dishes that we do. And again, just utilizing the small space and just kind of elaborating and creating things like that. So I've been testing out different things. I know we had done something a little while back. Ava and I were messing around. I bought some egg roll wrappers. Yeah. I'm like, let's see if we can do like the egg rolls.
Egg rolls, yeah.
With the
pork.
Yeah. So with the beef. So this is shredded. This is
shredded beef. This is beef.
So, yeah. Everything we do now is beef.
It's beef.
Yeah. So we made some egg rolls. I fried them and everything, and we tried it both with the consomme and then both with the queso. Dip it in; it hits better with the queso.
Yeah.
Just recently, I created a grilled cheese sandwich. We call it the dip it good.
Yeah.
So Texas. So yes. I've been running this as a special. Yeah. You got some. It's made with Texas toast. We take everything that you would have inside the taco. We add deep fried jalapeno strips and fresh jalapenos on there.
Okay.
So you got to, if you had it, I mean, we're talking about 4 inches high from end to end. We'll cut it in half. We serve it alongside both the queso and the consomme.
Yeah.
So that's the concept of dip. Yeah.
Dip in both of them.
Exactly. So we tried that, and we're like, we got to put this out there. So the name was created, put that out there, and I think what we're going to try to do is market that a little bit more, to the point to where we might just have that on the menu as a regular item. We started doing Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Anytime that I would get off work with Morrison, and I come and try to open it up. So I want to say like the birria tacos, instead of $4.50 a piece, I think they were like $2 or $3.50, something like that. There's a discounted price, like it's all set up. We started adding regular Mexican style tacos, which basically is
Oh, that's
what's that?
That's the sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's the dippy dip.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I'm coming to you, man. I want one of those.
So we'll do the Taco Tuesday stuff. And at that point, I would just set up in Berrien Springs. I would set up. They don't allow food trucks in the village.
Yeah.
You have to be outside the limits. So anything beyond like where the AutoZone, I've set up at the AutoZone parking lot.
I'll
over
have
there.
you.
Yeah. And if I post that I'm going to be there, I'll have people like just okay
In the parking lot
Yep,
waiting for
we'll
you.
be there. Yeah, I pulled up one day and there was like 3 or 4 cars that were waiting there for me. I'm like, you got to give me a second. I gotta.
You got something good going on,
Yeah.
brother.
So it excites me to the fact that we're I again just putting something good out for the community and to where people are coming back.
Yeah.
So we do what we call the birria pizza.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Here, I'll
So-
show you a picture, James. Gotta go back up. It's right after the You even put in a pizza box.
Yeah, we put it in a pizza box. So it's 2 14-inch flour tortillas. Basically, just think of a overgrown quesadilla.
Yeah, I was still going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the meat, the cheese, onion, cilantro, and then we throw mushrooms in there.
Oh.
Yeah. So that comes standard. Now, I've had when I was at Watermark, one of the times last year, I had a father-son who came and they had come across my Facebook, social media, whatever. They ordered the pizza, and the son looks at me.
Oh, that was delicious.
Yeah, those are the tacos.
Oh, man.
The son looks at me. He's like, "Can I add hot Cheetos in the pizza?" I'm like, "You can add whatever you want." I was like, I never had that request.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people will just order how it comes. But I want people to know that if you want to add anything, we have it. It's listed up on the side of the menu, or on the menu that's on the side of the trailer. Be creative. You know, you want to add, artichokes, hot Cheetos, whatever into it, jalapenos. Go ahead and do it. I mean, we'll hook it up for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Just let us know.
I see a Cheeto in that burrito right now.
It's calling your
Holy
name.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it hits
excited,
pretty
man.
good.
So am
It hits
I.
pretty good.
Yeah.
What about the breads? The sticks.
The sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
So
kind of curious. About.
yeah, like I said, those are made on flour tortillas. We roll those up, and we get them crispy. So basically, it's almost like a taquito.
Yeah,
really, right. So it's a little bit easier to eat.
You scroll up, it shows the soup too.
You're not really getting messy with it. But I'll tell you what, anything you eat, you're going to want to grab a bunch of napkins. Yeah, just so I mean, we have them there. But I mean, everything so far, like I said, it's been hitting pretty good, and
That's
just the compliments that we get, we're very grateful.
Got so many items.
To
good looking items on your menu there, man. Oh,
people
man.
eat with their eyes first, so
Yeah.
you got to
He
make
does,
it appealing.
yes.
So you do like do you cater and stuff like that?
Yeah, so
yeah, that's farther up.
I've done
I'm
graduation
looking at the big
parties.
ass plate of tray of tacos there. That was probably keep going. Go ahead.
So we there's like taco trays. We do, you can do like a pizza party type thing. I did a wedding last month, which they contacted me back in January, if I remember correctly, for a wedding that was in April. And towards the end of this month, we're doing a catering event over in Sawyer for a gentleman that had contacted me. So we are able to do catering. We can do the parties, graduation parties, things like that. So just reach out and we'll try to get a quote.
And it's amazing how people are now using food trucks for weddings, for receptions, for graduation parties.
Yeah.
Before, they didn't have that ability.
No, you had to go to an actual caterer.
Yeah, now you have the ability where you could just pop your truck up and stand there, and while people are just partying and having fun,
so
doing that.
It all depends. There's 3 different levels that we try to do. We can do like a drop-off service where we make the food and we basically just drop it off and it's at your mercy. But that's I guess the most economical way. But then you got to worry about like the portion control, because you got the guests are kind of it's at their will. I mean, I don't really like to do that, but we want to offer different levels, right? Then we'd have like so we'd start with that and then go up to, pick certain different menu items, and we'll just kind of keep them rolling, for you. Or there's like what I would call like the full service style, where I'd have like a group of people or a team assembled, and we'd have like managing the stations, making sure that the items are continuing to be rolled. We're cleaning up as we go with people, because a lot of times you have like an empty cup or empty plate or whatever. We don't want the guests to have to worry about stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So of course with that comes it's a little bit pricier, because of course I have to pay my labor, and we want to make sure that the guests aren't worried about anything. So
you don't feed them. They don't just work for food.
Yeah, they just work for food.
They don't work for food.
So it's funny because Ava, she'll ask me, can I make some food? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I pay her. She makes the money. I tell her, I'm like, we're trying to earn you a car. I mean, being 16 years old, she's trying to get a car.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get you that car by the end of summer.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, they'll eat, they can get food, they'll get paid. So I try to make it fun.
Yeah.
And everything. And I think that's what we're doing. We're just going around, around the area here. And like I mentioned, we're just trying to broaden our footprint and get into the Indiana market.
What's your favorite place to go to?
I would say Watermark.
Watermark?
Mm-hmm.
Those damn drunk people, huh?
I say them.
But
pizza's also good too. We've been to Pete's many times.
Yeah.
Over there, Pete's Cider and everything.
We're gonna have Pete's Cider on soon too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Joe. Joe keeps me up on the current events.
There you go.
Yeah, Pete's Cider.
I'm like
the whole cider place.
Hermit.
The whole higher cider place is going to be coming here. Yeah, Pete's Cider. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another place you can.
Yeah. So I like going there, and everything. You go in there, you get your bowling in, you get some ciders going.
Yeah.
You let us take care of the food, and
because they don't have food there.
No.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And again, that's where the pager system comes into play. They'll go in and do their thing. We'll page them, come out,
back out,
food's ready, and they'll go. So one of the things that we try to do, and reasons why we try to keep it simple, not overly complicated, is wait times. So when you work in a restaurant, you're always like, okay, what do you hear the manager say? You got to work on the ticket times. Let's get the food pushed out. Well, we wanted to make it simple across the board to where we can put out good fast food, but not lessen the quality of it.
Right.
So I don't think that anything that we put out, you're going to get half-assed. It's going to, what you get, that might take 10 minutes. It's going to be the same thing if it takes 2 or 3.
Right.
Now, certain people got to understand, like, we've got so much space to work with. I got a 30-inch or 36-inch griddle, so when you get a pizza and you get 2 14-inch tortillas on there, it takes up a lot of space. So that's the one thing that might take a little bit longer, but it's not going to take you like 10 or 15 minutes. It also depends on the staff that we got working. A lot of times if it's just the 2 of us, I'm taking the orders, I'm going back, starting things on the grill, and she's like managing the station and trying to get plates, the boxes and stuff set up. If I got a third person working the cashier, then the flow goes a lot better. Faster, but it depends, because not every place is going to be like to that point to where it's busy. And you got like that line. Now coming up to when we got like festivals and stuff going on, then we need to be all hands on.
Yeah.
It's like game on. You got to have the manpower to be able to do that, because I don't want people sitting there waiting like 15, 20, 30 minutes for something that typically takes like 5, if that. So,
well, that's the cooking you from the old corporate restaurants that you Like get that shit out fast. So,
Yeah.
Appetizer, whatever the case may be. So
Mhm.
get that out fast.
Yeah.
A decent amount of time. So
Exactly.
What is your time frame? What did you try to base it at? Were you like 5-10 minutes, or you want to be at a certain time?
Anything less than 10.
Less than 10.
Yeah. There's been times where people are like, well, how long is it going to take? I'll have that ready in like a couple minutes.
You're telling me that big ass burrito right there, it only takes about 5-10 minutes?
If that.
Jesus.
I can have that done in probably like maybe 3.
Well, if you have all the meats ready.
Yeah. So I've got everything's got the holding, everything's held hot. The meat's held hot. I mean, and it's nothing more than warming the tortilla up to make it's pliable so you can fold it without it breaking.
Right.
So once you slap that on there and put everything together, it's like boom, boom, we sear it because we want to get it nice and toasted and sealed.
Yep.
That would probably take the longest part. Is making sure that it's seared. But once it's done, it's like boom, we're cutting and we're out the door.
Everything's hot and ready to go.
Yep, the rice is held hot, the meat's held hot.
It's all about the assembly.
Exactly. So that, and again, it's so from where I can think of starting on the 4th of July last year up until now. I mean, we've come a long way as far as trying to get the setup going, the workflow going. We've messed around with different setups, like what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What if we do it this way? And it's a lot of thinking on the fly. Okay, whatever we did last time really wasn't working, let's try to change it up and see if we can do it this way.
What's the price gap in your food?
So I believe
range wise,
so you're looking at on the low end, maybe the cheese quesadilla. I call them the quesadilla. The cheese quesadillas I think are around $6, something like that, $7.
Okay.
The pizza is the most expensive thing. That goes up to about $27, something like that. I'm telling you, it's packed.
Yeah.
You
get your money's worth.
Yeah, you will definitely. If you look at this burrito and feel how heavy that is, that pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, that pizza box, we have to angle it a certain way out the window because it won't just,
Right.
we're sitting there, oh shit, But you will get your money's worth out of everything that you get.
14 inch.
So everything from $6 to 20 something.
Yeah, about depending. No,
that's still reasonable price. I mean,
Yeah.
most places like, excuse me, like I had Munchie Man a week ago. I worked a Wednesday finally, and he was down the road from where I worked at Great Lakes Eye Care.
Okay.
And so I finally got to have it. His is 15, and it only took 10-15 minutes, but his is still a reasonable price. Everything was about $13 to $15. That's a reasonable price. But then if you go to something like getting a burger and something like that, or the pizza people that come in, their pizzas are a little bit more expensive, but it's a wood-fired pizza, but it's kind of an expensive pizza where you're looking at a $20 pizza where I could have went down the road to Pizza Hut or somewhere like that and still got something cheaper, but it's still, you're paying for what you're getting.
Exactly.
Like you said, you're paying with your eyes. You're knowing what that picture is right there. Like James just gets the shivers or he starts drooling, and he's gonna just tear these up.
Out.
Yeah, he's gonna tear them up.
So pictures help. We've got pictures posted on the side of the trailer. And like I said, I wanted to do that, have people have some sort of visualization on what they're going to get. Like, they'll point like, hey, I want that. They come to the window and they're like, we want what's over there. Like from inside, I'm like,
you can't see it.
I can't see it, but I'm like, but there's names written up, underneath all the different plates and everything. But yeah, I mean, we just try to keep it fun and exciting and have people come back. Yeah, you can go down to Taco Bell and get a taco for like whatever it is, $2, $3 now.
Americanized tacos, yeah, but it's not the same as this. Man.
You want
not the same as this, dude. No, dude. Even some taco trucks don't even make them like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're thin.
There's different. I know there's a couple different taco trucks around the area.
I was going to ask you that.
So I've been at Bridgman last year at the market, and there was me.
It's kind of cool market.
And there was I can't remember. They're out of South Bend. I can't remember the name. Anyways, the people that run the market there, they apologized to me like, hey, we got another taco truck, but it's a different style. They don't serve the same things like you do. I mean, that's fine, right? I mean, so there needs to be room for everybody there. I mean, you'll have a Burger King and McDonald's and Wendy's right next to each other. It's a matter of giving people choices.
Right.
So if they have the other place, whatever, and they like it, that's fine. If they try us and they like it, whatever, So if you're putting out something that's good quality, you're going to get repeat business.
Do you think there's a lot of taco trucks in the area? I can name I think there's like what 3 or 4.
Is it oversaturated? Is what you're trying to say?
Not really. I mean, so I know you have like El Amigo Pepe. There's La Chula. That's from Waterville League.
Yeah.
La Perla, do they do one?
Yeah.
They do one.
But everybody's different. Like
everybody is different. So, and some of them may serve, the different Mexican style beverages and stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't really looked.
Does it bother you?
No. I mean, I want to concentrate on what we're doing.
Yeah.
Good
for you.
I don't want to worry about what the competition's doing, because I mean, if we're putting out something good, then why even worry about it? I know that we're going to get the followers.
Sounds like it.
One thing that we added in was the Mexican Cokes in the glass bottle.
Oh, really?
With the real sugar. When I've got normally I would carry like just regular like Coke, Diet, Sprite, whatever cans. Whereas one time I had a mother and son came, they ordered the tacos, and then I got asked, like, do you have Mexican Coke? So I had to do the look of shame, be like, no, I know. You're like, oh, and he's like, oh, at that point he didn't want anything to drink. So I'm like, oh, damn it.
Now you got it.
So now, much like when I was told about the pork and the beef, it was in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me go pick up some of this Mexican Coke. I put that on the menu. We're selling it. I go to the cook plant because I've been there.
So yeah.
I've been to the cook plant for their outages and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, those guys, like, we want Coke, Mexican Coke, Mexican Coke, Mexican Coke. They want the burrito. They will tear those burritos up. And the Mexican Coke.
That's probably the most filling.
Yeah. I mean, they're like I said, I mean, look at it.
2-pound burrito.
Exactly. So, they tear that up. And little things like that. You hear it coming from the public, from the people, like, hey, do you have this or do you do that? So now, like, okay, if it seems like a good idea to me, let's get that going and let's try to work with something. Let's because again, it's not about what I want to eat, what I like. It's about
serving the people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Serving the people and just making sure that they're going to have a good time.
Man, this is a good discussion on food. I'll tell you that. All right, Dave, I am very impressed, man, the way you put this operation together. Dude, this is amazing. This is amazing. And I know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And
you have a keen eye for it. I appreciate good food, and this right here, I can't wait to get home and eat this shit. What are you looking like that, Joe? You want to eat it now, don't you?
He's like, I'm not waiting till I get home.
Oh, I'm gonna wait until I get home.
Yeah.
We'll probably split the taco before because we're not gonna.
Now, like I said, keep in mind because it's not hot and fresh,
right?
Yeah.
But the flavors are still going to be there. The idea of the tacos when they're nice and hot, I mean, you get that cheese pull.
Yeah.
When I'm pulling them off the griddle, I mean, you get the cheese that like would ooze out.
Yeah.
I mean, you got that 10, 12-inch cheese pull as I'm putting them into the box.
Maybe if you're lucky after the show, you can watch us dip a taco in.
Oh, you're going to show me the dip pick?
And then we'll let you take one.
I'll show you one dip pick, Dave.
Don't be jealous.
I'm leaving that alone. I was going to say something. I'm leaving that shit alone. So many things I can say. But you're going to continue.
Oh, okay. I got to laugh again. So I'm gonna sorry. Screw it, I'll ask it. I'm trying to figure out Southwest. I don't know. I'll read
glasses.
No, I'm gonna read how it is.
Your eyes are moving around.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out the abbreviation. What's your favorite SWLM football sport or trucks to eat at and support? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the
SWLM.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
I don't either.
acronym stands for.
I don't either. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's from Michael. So I'm trying to figure that one out. What's your favorite
SWLM.
SWLM food sport? Or,
That's like Southwest Lower Michigan.
I don't know.
It could be. It could be.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes. That's what that means.
That's
What's my favorite like food truck to eat at?
Don't ask me. I'm just reading what it says.
SWLM.
What's your favorite SWLM
Southwest
food sport or trucks to eat at and support?
Food sport. I wonder if they meant food spot.
spot? Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't want to read
So
that.
the funny thing is
Oh, it does say spot. My bad.
okay.
Joe can't
so
read.
Dude, that's really small.
Joe
I'm
needs some
not,
glasses.
not used to reading my own
Joe
phone.
can't. You need some glasses. Dude. You're avoiding this. I've been telling you this for the
I do
last
need glasses.
3 months. You need glasses.
I need to stop. I need to start squinting.
Oddly enough, I have never gone to another food truck even before I started this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, it does say spots.
So I can't answer that because I've never done that. I've never gone to a food. I mean, I've been at places that has had food trucks, but I never dawned on me to go up and get something. Only
Yeah.
because at that point I was either never hungry,
Right.
or that's probably it.
Southwest Lower Michigan.
You need
No.
glasses, dude.
No, that's what he
Stop.
He just wrote back. He said Southwest Lower Michigan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we guessed it right.
Yeah, we did.
That's
Yeah.
right. I was trying to
You need some
Yeah,
horrible
so-
eyes. You need some
no,
glasses, dude.
But I've been I guess the Munchie Man would pique my interest to try their food and stuff.
You should.
Yeah.
He has
So I've
he
taken a
has
look at
good
their
Philly.
menu.
He has a good Philly.
That's what I've heard. I've heard he's got a
Great
good
Philly,
time.
Munchie Man.
So yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. So it's funny when we're at different like markets or events and stuff, we try to do tradesies with like the other.
Yeah.
So I guess I have.
It's like a
I
bar
have had it.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had like Ben's Pretzels are big on doing trades like
Yeah.
that. So so let me back it up. I have had things like that. We've done trades with them. There was when I was at Twisted Bee 420, there was a Luigi's, or not Luigi's, there was an Italian ice place over there, which they're from I believe Cass County, because I get to talking with people every time I get a break. If I'm at a place like that, I like to go up and try to visit with like the other vendors and stuff, just kind of either get ideas or kind of like, hey, introduce myself, and vice versa, because we're in such of a different market of our own that you have to support each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with doing like a food trade of anything. Like, hey, you want to try some of my stuff? We'll try some of your stuff and things like that. I mean, it's about supporting the small businesses and keeping each other,
You ever thought about going to any fairs or anything like that?
So I actually did apply to the Barron County Youth Fair. I didn't get in.
Wait a minute, you have to apply?
You
Oh,
have to apply.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah.
have to apply to get in that thing?
Yeah.
You just can't
Remember we
pay a
had a
fee?
discussion with Munchie.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you have to. Yeah, you have to
That's right, yeah.
apply and everything, and
Still.
they'll And
I thought
I
they-
just want to. I didn't get in. No. Well, and here's the thing.
Could you sit outside on across the street?
That's funny you mentioned that, because last year during the fair, I parked myself over at the AutoZone parking lot.
again?
And
Yeah.
right over- but people park there and they want to go in and get the corn dog. I mean, that's what I want to do when I go
Yeah,
in there, because
right.
that stuff only comes around like once a year.
Exactly.
So, but in
Really
any
good
case,
corn dog.
because I didn't get in this year. Ironically enough, though, this is what I understand that the slogan of the fair is going to be: Fiesta at the fair. Fiesta
at the fair.
Fiesta at the fair. I didn't get in. It's weird.
Did you get in?
No, I didn't.
No, that's
Didn't
No, but anything. So I'll fill my schedule up with other things. I'm not mad about it or anything.
Yeah.
So it's all just marketing yourself, and I'm sure that we'll be fine.
Would you do any fair though?
I would.
Would you?
Yeah. It all depends. I mean, I would have to be licensed in that county,
Yeah.
Everything like that. I would do a fair. Have no problem with doing that. I mean, I understand you're going to be there, all day, all hours, whatever.
Would you do something like what's that one place? There's a couple towns that have a big giant food truck kind of atmosphere.
like a caravan of food trucks or something like that? Like a, I don't know, food truck.
Not that, not the one you see on TV. It's like a food truck festival.
like
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a food truck festival. There's a big giant food truck
That's
festival.
all. That's
Like
all
a-
you have is
Yeah.
different food trucks
Yeah.
set up.
So it's almost like a taste of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. So yeah, and the only reason I say maybe is because now you're oversaturating it. And now you might have different concepts, but I think when if you put too many of those all together, you're still kind of up in the air with trying to see if it's going to be profitable for you.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of these places will charge you different fees and stuff like that, so you got to make sure that you make enough to cover that. If you got people working for you, got to be able to pay your the overhead, all the expenses that go down with it. So people that want to get into the business, I've heard recently, like, hey, what do you think that it takes? It all depends. Now every place is different. What do you want to do? If you're going to do like ice cream, the Cruise and Cow, they do the ice cream and stuff. And I've been to many places with them, and I know they follow me. I'll follow them. But if you want to do something like that, I don't know what it's going to cost for that. I know what my stuff will cost me, but it's what you want to put into it, what you want to make out of it.
I've heard about that. What's a Cruise and Cow?
The Cruise and Cow?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's basically just from what, and I apologize if I get this wrong, but it's ice cream bars.
Ice cream bars?
Yeah.
Really?
So they've gone. I've been to like
really interesting.
soccer games and things like that. Upton, the school systems over there, and they've been out there.
Really?
So they've they'll do their dessert treats for the kids.
I think Cruise and Cow. I think of like barbecue.
Really?
What?
Like Cruise and Cow.
That's what you said.
Like
Beef.
Oh, okay.
Or pork.
Yeah, so they've got their truck is white with the spotted, make it look like a cow.
Yeah.
I've heard of them, but I never know what they serve.
Yeah, their ice cream truck.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's new around here. Like,
a new ice cream truck.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of ice cream or like that kind of scenario. I mean, you get the ice, shaved ice and stuff like that. But...
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things as a kid, you heard the music going off in the background. You're running out the door.
Now I'm just
Mom, I need some money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now I'm just ready to get kidnapped by them because they're kind of creepy looking.
Later on, they had the yellow stripes.
Once you start realizing, I mean, as a kid, you don't see that, but as an adult, you're like, there's no windows on that.
One window,
and you got a trail of candy like on the road.
Yeah.
With free candy on the side. Sorry.
Is that what happened to me? Shit.
Joe, I love free candy.
I like candy.
Well, damn. That's wow. But dude, man, I didn't realize this is only a year in, right?
Yes, not even a year.
Not even a year.
Yeah,
yet?
not even
Not even a year yet because he was a year in July.
In July.
So,
So
July.
this July would be a whole year.
Yeah. So
you haven't stopped.
No. And we do have like a loyalty program. So if you sign up,
program?
if you sign up, I believe at the point of ordering, it's on the screen and stuff. You can earn points to get free food. So there's different tiers, different levels of that.
Okay.
So we want to keep people coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
So you create things like that. Have the little promos going on. And anything that we try to do as far as that goes, we post on our website, or actually more so on the Facebook page. The website will have, if you go to the jalapenogrill.net, you can find our schedule, list of events. If we're going to do like a pop-up, we don't post on the schedule because evidently they're pop-ups. You never know. So I'll post those on the Facebook page, which is Jalapeno Grill Social. We also got a TikTok. We got Instagram. So we got all the different platforms and everything. So there's different ways to follow us, and just take a look and see where we're going to be at.
You ever thought about going live one day when you're just like at the watermark and have a little camera
Maybe
up
we
top,
can collaborate
and have a little camera up top,
remote
and have just like people just watching you.
I have not done
watching you
that.
cook or watching the crowd just come on in and order food and having a good time.
That'd be an idea.
For
I have not thought of that, but that's something that we could. Yeah.
Maybe
how much are you looking to get from that now?
Dude, no, we
No,
I need that kickback. I need that 15%.
It's okay. I got my food now. I'm all good.
I don't know, man. No, dude, we help out people. We like to help out.
Yeah.
And put just to do that collaborate. It helps us and it helps you. And if we did something like that in front of the watermark together,
Yeah.
where we like interview people and get the feedback on your food.
Okay.
We could probably do it at Pete's when he's ever at Pete's. Right now, I'm trying to get Watermark in here, so I would rather have them in here before we.
Yeah, that would be good.
Well, just let me know and we can hook it up. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely down to do different things and to be able to have different ways to reach people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would definitely help us. I'll tell you that much, man. Because
So, I mean, last year I was at a Three Oaks market and WNDU did a spot on me.
yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
they came out there and did now I forgot the name of the segment, but anyways, they came out there and they did a spot on me. They ran it. They recorded it before the Olympics.
Yeah.
So they had to wait till after the Olympics were done, to be able to run it,
Right.
which they did. I believe there's a link to it on my website. Moody on the Market. I did a phone interview
Pat
with
Moody,
them.
Pat
Yeah.
Moody, yeah.
Yep. So did an
We
interview
had him
with
in
it.
here too, man. He's a cool guy.
So I've been in the local news. WSBT contacted me a couple weeks ago and they had a hometown living segment that they do. It's like a 5-minute segment. I went to the studios last Monday, recorded that, and it just aired this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I thank you. They told me it was going to run, and they gave me the date of today, and I totally forgot about it. I was already on my way to my spot this morning where we were scheduled when I heard that it ran.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit! Now I have to go back and try to find it.
Yeah.
And everything, see what that is. So we've been
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, we've been
that's
in the
kinda
local
cool.
news and everything, and different types of platforms. So just trying to get the name out there.
You're doing a good job, it seems like, man. If you already the news is covering you and all these different other things.
Well, then and you guys too. So
Yeah,
you know, so that's awesome.
I would love to have them at the Sandbar.
How would that?
Oh, dude, they do outside live music outside,
Okay.
and they have a food truck on the back.
I think it'd be
Back-
smart.
That'd be smart. if
I
they
think it'd be
did.
smart. I think it's smart to change it up
Yeah, change
like
it up
Watermark
instead of
does.
Yeah,
and having the same thing. Having what Watermark does each week is something totally different.
and it lasts from like 7 to 11
Okay.
because they have a noise ordinance
Okay.
outside, but it's live music and people would pack that place up.
Okay. They still pack that place up. I remember going in there.
Yeah.
Glasses flying. Remember that? Glasses. Yeah.
Those are the old days, dude. It's like the Wild Wild West. That place.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
No, so it's funny you bring that up. So today, while I was out in the LaPorte area, I got a message come through. There was a phone call, and I missed it because I was busy at the time. But then I looked because I got the whatever you can read your voicemail type thing set up. So I'm looking at it, going, "Wait a minute, what?" This guy reached out to me and wanted me to call him back. Said something about May 10th coming up Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my schedule going, I'm scheduled at Upton Middle School in the morning up until like 2:00. So anyways, I'm like reading the message and he sent me a text along with it from 6 to 11 at night up in Battle Creek. There's some sort of, I forget the name of it. So I apologize, but they're doing some sort of like outdoor patio concert type thing.
Yeah.
And whomever that had scheduled previously either couldn't make it or backed out or something happened. So now he's scrambling to try to find somebody for the Saturday. So I had to make sure that I had people that could be able to work it. So I'll be going up to Battle Creek area this Saturday. So that's not on my schedule yet, but yeah, things like that, where it's like the outdoor summer concert series or whatever the case is, like music on the patio type thing. So no,
wineries and stuff like that.
Yeah. 12 Corners Winery. I've been there. I'm going back a couple of times here this season. Just different types of venues that I've been at least once before, just to get that invitation back.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes, because like you mentioned, like I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
So that's always a good thing. And again, those local businesses just trying to help each other out.
That's my kind of date. Wine and tacos.
Why, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. I can't wine in a big giant burrito.
All right,
Hell
guys.
yeah, that's awesome.
We're gonna wind this down. We got 5 minutes left, and what we do at the end of each segment is do a shout out to anybody you want, or whatever case may
Upcoming
be.
events.
Upcoming events that you have coming on. Let's shoot them out to your.
It's your last final thought.
Yeah, so let me pull up my schedule here real quick. Like I mentioned, Watermark, once they had that cancellation, they gave us that foot in the door.
Yeah.
We've been invited back, so we're a part of their schedule for the season.
Good deal.
There's a couple different. So actually, working in the forklift world, before I left, I started reaching out to some of my contacts to see if they have food trucks there.
Yeah.
So I was able to contact several of our customers and said, yeah, let me put you in contact with somebody
There you go.
who deals with that. So there's a lot of a handful of different customers that we would take care of that I'm able to go ahead and do. So that was, I guess, smart thinking on my end. Like, hey, I've seen food trucks there. Like, let me try to get in the door because I know somebody that works there. So yeah, like I said, just marketing and trying to understand like where you can market yourself at and just getting in. All it takes is a foot in the door and putting out a good product and you'll be invited back.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, I want to give shout out to like Pete's. They've got us coming back several times. Watermark, like I mentioned before, the Bridgman Open Air Market. I was there last season. We're coming back this season. Three Oaks, the same thing. We're going to be doing the Buchanan Market this season as well. Things like that. And I apologize if I forget anybody. There's just a lot of things that are going on. I'm trying to get my head wrapped around it. I'm like, what day of the week is it now? Because up until last week, it was like Monday to Friday. I get up at like 4:45, whatever, and do my thing. But now it's like, where am I at today? Where am I at tomorrow? I'm constantly having to like look ahead. But it's fun. I love doing it. It doesn't seem chaotic to me. I almost have to make myself a checklist because I'm like, oh shoot, did I remember this? Did I forget that? And it happens, things like that happen, unfortunately, but, it's just, anybody that's out here locally that has not had my food, come down and try it. Jalapeno Grill. Just because it's the name doesn't mean that everything's spicy.
Right.
So I've had that question asked to me before. Is everything spicy? I'm like, no. If you want to add the jalapenos to it or whatever, you can. If there are options, but nothing that we do is gonna make you run for a glass of milk or anything like that.
Right.
It's just the name. So
there we go. Joe, you want to hit it off?
Yeah.
Shoot your shot,
I'll
Joe.
shoot from my hip on this one. Well, I didn't know you as well as James did, but I want to say congrats to your big achievement so far. We know how you feel on your big achievement because yes, we're hitting it strong more now this year, this year coming and more everything else. And you have the best sky's the limit and everything about what you're doing to achieve your goals. You're already booked. I can say it next year already on Cinco de Mayo.
Yep.
I don't think anybody can probably say that.
Well, some people like it, but dude, it's for your first year.
First year, phenomenal. And I can't wait to dig into this food tonight. And I'm going to try half the taco tonight. So, but for you, sky's the limits. You keep on trucking on this whole food truck grill and I'm all up in your face. And I love it, dude. It's your names, your concept, everything. You're not, like you said, not the typical truck. So you keep on going with that theme and everything else because it's killing it. And I can't wait to taste it. So
sweet. Yeah, you'll have to let me know. Give me some feedback.
Oh,
let me know.
I will.
Definitely.
I mean, we will. I so far every single time I had someone that said gives us feedback, I even posted it on Facebook and to say this is one of the best tacos I've had, or this is one of the best sandwiches. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like I did for when we had Brookie's Cafe on. We went there, did his challenge, and I did a nice, great post.
He was right.
I did a nice, great post about
Some
it.
of the best service stuff I had in a while, man.
Okay.
Like, these guys were attentive and very, very personable.
So
just because this is what the type of business he wants to put out.
Yeah,
and he did just that.
I'm brutally honest when it comes down to it, and so I think, dude, you're killing it. Keep on going.
Thank you, much appreciated.
And happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. We're gonna.
That's your gunshot. Dave, I was so relieved that I saw it was you walking in the door, dude. I was sitting back there. I was like, man, I don't know who it's going to be. I stood up, and it was you, dude. It was a breath of fresh air, man. Glad we got to connect.
Yeah.
Got to talk about stuff that you're doing in your life. and the achievements that you've come across. And damn, good job, man.
Hey, appreciate it.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Yeah.
Dude, the food looks awesome. I know you're doing a good job. You've been in this less than a year, and you've got callbacks and people want you to come back and do the stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
It says a lot about what you're doing.
Yeah, so we take those callbacks or whatever comments, and we want to hear them, good or bad.
Yeah.
You know, if it's something that we need to work on, we want to know.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly. That is going to what will make you stronger.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And you got to be able to take it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you got to have a strong backbone. But yes, appreciate it. Appreciate having me on, guys. And
Hey, no problem, man.
And like I said, I knew you were doing something the podcast world, and when I saw you,
Still trucking, man. Still doing this, man. And it's a blessing to be able to do this and enjoy doing it. Like, doing what you're doing.
You gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't consider it a job or anything. It's just a service that we're providing, and I enjoy doing it.
All right, guys. This is the Third Eye Truth Theorem podcast. We are done with the podcast. It is May 5th, 2025. I have to say at the end of two now.
Taco time.
Taco time. Guys, if you're out and about, you see Dave's truck, Jalapeno Grill, stop in and see this man and get some of his food.
And
it looks great. I'm telling you that much right now. I can't wait to get dig in.
Wednesday.
So this Wednesday, who we have this Wednesday?
Page.
Vicky Page is coming on Wednesday. Can't wait to get into that one. That's going to be fun. All right, guys. This is the Third Eye Truth Theorem podcast. I am your host, James Gill. This is Joe Hill, and our guest, Dave Tobias. Guys, thank you for joining us. We love you so much.
You can bring us food.
We can't wait to do this food. Dave, you did a good service for us. I tell you that much.
There you go.
I can't wait. All right, guys. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Wednesday.